This is Beach Talk Radio.
The message, I think, for spring breakers is that the party's over in Florida.
The spring break party is over. We need you to go home. The behavior that's been going on related to spring break has absolutely violated everything that everybody else is trying to do with social distancing, and it's unacceptable.
Beach front is closed to commercial enterprise. It is closed to recreational enterprise. It is closed to your personal enjoyment until further notice.
Some will look and say, well, maybe we've gone a little bit too far. When you're dealing with an emerging infectious diseases outbreak, you are always behind where you think you are if you think that today reflects where you really are. It isn't an overreaction. It's a reaction that we feel is commensurate, which is actually going on in reality. In states with evidence of community transmission, bars, restaurants, food courts, gyms, and other indoor and outdoor venues where groups of people congregate should be closed.
When we're finished with the virus, we will win. We will win. And when that victory takes place, our economy is going to go through the roof. But we have to knock out this enemy. This is a really tough enemy, but we have to knock out all of us. That's all of us. We have to knock out this, and we will have an economy. I actually think we'll have an economy like we've never had before.
Live from Peach Time Out in the heart of Times Square, you're listening to Beach Talk Radio with Kim and Ed Ryan.
She's Kim and I'm Ed, and we're Beach Talk Radio. In the heart of Gateway. Right. We're not really at Peach Time Out right now, but we're coming to you live from Studio B, where we're self-medicating or self-distancing or whatever it's called. Social distancing for another fine episode of Let's Get an Update from the Mayor. And it's now Friday. It's day one of the beach is closed. And today was another eventful day. Not only did Florida make some decisions, but the state of Illinois, the state of New York joined California as a stay-at-home order. So everybody in the states of Illinois, New York, and California have to stay at home. So
they can
who's
go
next?
Out and get groceries. And I mean, they can go out and do essential stuff.
They said that you could go out and get groceries and you can do some kind of workout or run. What did they call that kind of run that I never heard of before? He said some kind of exercise that you're allowed to do.
Well, my mom left today, so she is mid-transit. She's up in Boston right now, but she said on the airplane, they were just serving water in cups. I don't even think she said they were serving snacks. And the airports, none of the restaurants are open and none of the bars are open.
Oh, wow. Even in the airport. So, the governor of Florida said what? No more restaurants other than takeout and no gyms. So, I read the executive order, but I didn't see what time, but I guess it wound up being effective immediately.
I guess so.
I got right in the car and went right over to the gym to see if I could get my final workout.
We were out getting some food and went by Chili's, and Chili's was completely, there wasn't even employee cars there. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know that everybody's staying open.
So does that mean places like, where was the place that we went to start the drinking thing that day? What was the name of that place? We met everybody the first time.
I know.
Tuckaway Cafe. Does that fit into the same kind of category? I guess it does, right? Yeah. It's a restaurant, so they can only serve takeout. Food. Right. All right. And backed by popular demand, there she is. By the way, before we get started, Madam Mayor, I want to remind everybody about how popular that you've been all week long.
Oh, for God's sake, that just all depends.
Views from those 4 or 5 videos that you came on the last few nights. And since this whole thing started, we've had over 12,000. I didn't check today. It was early in the morning, but over 12,000 views. So it's been quite an interesting arrangement to do this every single night. What's the matter, dear?
Happy.
She's fine. Oh, we can't hear. We can't hear her.
Oh,
I don't know
you
why
can't hear me.
Oh,
hold on.
She's got to turn on her microphone. Oh, look at that. It looks there. That's no problem at all. So 7,049 views for Anita for her shows only, and then 12,000 total views since we started with.
Can you hear me?
I think we had Jackie on, and then we tried to get Shelby on to talk about the Shrimp Festival, and then Anita came on later on. So those 6 or 7 videos. No sound yet. What did you change since last night? That's weird.
It's magic. I'll call you right back.
Magic, maybe your phone or
Call
something
back.
like that.
All right, she's
Yeah,
gonna call
yeah.
back.
Okay, cool. So we can always find something to talk about. I did want to mention that either Monday or Tuesday of next week, we have Dr. Kieran Dunstan coming on.
Okay.
I got through to, she said she could hear Anita. I wonder, maybe it was my bad. It could have been my bad because I've been goofing around with the, I made her hang up and, all right, well, dial back in. They can hear you just fine, Anita. So you were doing good. But I do want to mention Dr. Kieran Dunstan. We can read lips. So let's see if we can get her back in here when she calls in, and then we'll be fine. And then tomorrow's show, we're going to have Ray on, in addition to a couple other guests that you've probably seen on the Facebook. So check out the Facebook for tomorrow at 9:00. We're not sure how the arrangement is going to be tomorrow yet, are we? But I know I'm going to be in Times Square with the guests. We will be separated by 6 feet, of course. And we don't know where you're going to be yet, but we'll work that out later. So somebody texted Anita that she sounded fine, and it was Ed's problem that we couldn't get her on. So we also want you guys to take a look at the Facebook page to see the shirts that they're selling. They're selling these really cool shirts for
what is it? Hashtag we are FMB.
Yeah. Hashtag
we are FMB.
Right. And all that money is going to go toward the service industry.
$10, $5 is for the t-shirt, and $10 of the 15 goes to gift cards and whatnot to be given out to servers and folks down there that are going to be in trouble financially.
I think we got you back.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. It was actually my fault. I had the wrong thing connected to my headphones, but what do I know about the technical part of this whole thing?
I have no idea. More than I do, for sure.
So how was day one of the beaches closed?
To say that I'm impressed with people's reactions is an understatement. Such incredible compliance and consideration from 99% of the people. There were a couple of people that were upset. By the way, do you see I have on my Wisconsin Badger t-shirt today?
Nice, very nice.
My favorite player, number 84, is in town.
Stick to the subject, please.
Anyway,
so
lots of compliance. If you look at the webcams or anything else, you'll see that the beach looks empty.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get this in there right away, and then we can remind people the whole time that you're here. Where can people purchase the shirts, Anita?
Oh, the We Are FMB shirts.
Yes.
The best thing for them to do right now is either the only store I have open is the Islander, which is at Santini Plaza, until tomorrow at 6:00 or whatever time that Fishtail Restaurant is open. They have them. Both of those are at Santini Plaza, but they can also go on the Fort Myers Beach Community Foundation's webpage and click and purchase there.
Great. And they can buy them right online and
they can
with the credit card and all that. So,
absolutely.
By the way, if Kim can hold the show a little bit, I'll try and get the web address in the box so you guys can just click on it and buy them tonight.
Oh, great idea.
But for sure, I'll put it on the Facebook page. So how early in the day did you know that the restaurants were going to go to takeout only and that gyms were going to have to close?
Let's see. I knew that. Well, I knew it. Listen, before the governor made his decree, I was on the phone with John Lalo, with the folks from, not on the phone, but I knew the folks from Hoosiers were contemplating. Fishtail Marina spoke with Al Durrett. There were a lot of people taking very proactive steps because they saw the writing on the wall. And that was super helpful because this morning in our teleconference with, again, with all the mayors, the senator, everybody, that round robin, we didn't want to take any steps that the governor hadn't already initiated. And today, he took a lot of difficult decisions out of our hands. And I hate to say difficult decisions because people say, well, it's really obvious what you need to do. And they're right. It was obvious.
So when you are all on the conference call and kind of talking about stuff that maybe we don't hear, I'm sure we hear some of it, maybe not all of it. Have they brought up any numbers of confirmed cases that they know of that we should be aware of?
I think there's actually an update on Florida and maybe even Lee County, Ed. No, we don't talk about numbers because it's changing minute by minute. You know, the more people that get tested, the higher the numbers are going to be. But something I said today that I think really bears remembering, and that is that, you know, we've a lot of people, thousands of people that were here on Fort Myers Beach and in Lee County are returning to their homes. So if in fact they have, they've contracted the virus, they're taking it someplace else. And we won't know that for a week, 10 days, 2 weeks. So I think it's hard to kind of quantify impact numbers at this point. And to be very truthful, I think it's a waste of time. The only thing anybody ought to be thinking about is how can I minimize my impact? How can I, oh, there's a picture of Jan Falcom. What a wonderful person she is.
It always distracts her when I do that. I wanted to get the address up there for the shirts too.
Adult attention deficit disorder. I'm sure I have it. If I didn't before, I've got it now. Oh, I'm so today is like a double.
So speaking of testing and numbers, did you happen to find out if they're going to be having testing sites down?
I did. So what did we say yesterday? We wanted to know about, are there going to be testing sites on Fort Myers Beach? And there's no plan for that as of yet.
Okay.
That is really should be left to the pros. You know, there's no anything for that. And the other question we had to do with restaurants, the trolleys, the trams. You know, it's going from all the little gray areas that people have been like clinging to. Those gray areas are going away. It's getting blacker and whiter as the hours passed.
Now somebody asks, maybe this, I'll just throw it out there. Maybe you know the answer or not because you're on the phone with all those folks. Why is Lovers Key State Park still open?
I don't want to say it's not my area, but it's not my area. And I feel pretty certain that they may still be open, but they will be closing because you know, Mayor Simmons was on the phone today. That's in his jurisdiction, but it's also a state park. So state parks closed. It'll be closed.
You've gotten a lot of support on the social media for the decision that was made yesterday. How have the emails been?
Again, the vast majority very supportive. I would say that the big push from yesterday today was close the restaurants. Why are you closing the beach, not letting me take a walk on the beach, and yet I can go and sit in a crowded restaurant? Well, you really couldn't go and sit in a crowded restaurant, but I understood their points, and that was a real push today. And as you know, it's just like talking, and boom, DeSantis puts the hammer down. I said this the other day, but I'm going to say it again. I am so impressed with Governor DeSantis, and impressed not in a superficial way. I think that he is truly a public servant leader. I'm very, very, very happy with him as a governor. He's helping us by making these tough calls. He's helping the smaller communities, and I think that as the days go on, I'm sure he has, much more information than we have at our fingertips, and he's making decisions based on that information he has.
So do you think we're going to see a mix of restaurants that decide to just close because they really can't make enough from takeout to support the staff and to pay the bills, and some that stay open for takeout? And is there a way that we could all get a list, something that we could just keep pinned to the top of a page so that everybody down there knows that they can go and get takeout here, and here's where you park, and this place is closed and until further notice? Is there a way that we could do that?
Yes, I sure hope so. I hope that maybe the Chamber of Commerce is going to be looking at that. I don't know. I know Jackie has a lot on her plate right now, but as I have heard, I've been posting to my Facebook page. People like right now. I know Hoosiers in Paradise is saying they're open for carry out and takeout. Not only that, evidently they have whatever the license is that is like a package license. Right. So you could get some beer with your sandwich if you want. I think the state did that for everybody, right? They said if you, like John said, he could do that also. So I wonder how that. I wonder across the board if you sell alcohol, but I'm sure there are rules that I don't know about. I don't know. I don't know that particular, but so let's see. So I know so far that Hoosiers is doing that. I know Pete's Timeout is doing that, or is going to be doing takeout. I think that like the Beach Doggy Dog or the Dog House, I think they're still serving. Wouldn't surprise me if the likes of Tuckaway Bagel or Mom's or even Heavenly Biscuit or something, I would assume they would still try and do takeout. I know they do a lot of takeout anyways. So hopefully the restaurants will kind of be able to wrap their heads around this and come up with a plan where they'll be able to manage this. You know, everybody's got, like John Lalo says, he's got a certain nut he's got to make before he can even breathe a day, business wise. And that's pretty tough with the in the restaurant business. So hopefully it'll work out.
I just wanted to say thank you to Jason for what he typed in there. Go ahead.
No.
What did he type?
He said that I don't live on the beach. I'm in Fort Myers, but just so you know, you're doing an amazing job.
Oh,
I think he probably meant you, not us, but thank you anyway, Jason.
I assumed he meant her.
Oh.
You know what? I went to Walmart today. But you know what? I went to Walmart today and off the island on San Carlos. And I just couldn't believe how many people were like wanted to talk to me about the beach. And, you know I've been in front of a lot of cameras and whatnot the last few days, but my God in heaven, they were so supportive. So, everybody loves Fort Myers Beach. Everybody's got a Fort Myers Beach story, whether they live here or not. They're part of us and we're part of their lives. And I just, all you Walmart shoppers, really appreciate you today. I really did.
Speaking of that, do you know, like the Publix that's down there, have they adjusted their hours? Are they offering that pickup service where people can, call in or they can just swing by?
You mean the Instacart service? Yeah.
Yes.
I haven't gotten an update from Publix. I will tell you that I did get an email just a few minutes ago, and I forwarded it on to Roger, the town manager, because there was something about Publix was going to open certain hours for people 65 or older. And I think they said something about their commercial plan development has their hours set in it. And so I would think that since we're under a state of emergency, it gives the town manager, other authorities. My guess is that he could alter that if that's necessary, but please don't hold me to that because God knows he's worked his tail off this week. I don't want to give him any more work.
Kudos to Roger. I must, you have to tip your hat when he's, and they do a great job. The whole staff.
He has been such a great cheerleader for me. I mean, not just cheerleader. He has, I'll be on the phone and he's like saying, he's just been, I hate to say I've enjoyed it because,
Yeah.
He's been super helpful.
Somebody just typed into that CVS is doing free delivery of prescriptions. So just
yeah, well, that's great. The problem with CVS and prescriptions is if you've got Blue Cross Blue Shield and you're not on some weird group of Blue Cross Blue Shield. I mean, like I have Blue Cross Blue Shield, CVS can't fill my prescription.
Wow. So, do you know how the shelves were stocked when you were at Walmart? I mean, she just came back from Walmart, and it's like,
which one did you go to, Kim?
Well, we're in town, so I went to the one on Colonial and 6 Mile, and it was, limited for those things that they had a whole 2 aisles dedicated to paper products, and that was completely empty. So.
Yeah, I didn't see any paper products, but as I told you all yesterday, my sister Becky fixed that for me yesterday.
Right.
So I didn't need any paper products, but the food resources were like, for example, today I decided that I wanted to make spaghetti sauce, and sometimes I make spaghetti sauce 2 ways. I make a vegetarian spaghetti sauce and a meat sauce. But I do it all at the same time. I just kind of separate it out. There was not a lot of ground beef.
No.
There was a little bit, but not, And so I was trying to, there was a lot of cheese.
Oh, yeah.
There is a lot of cheese.
A lot of cheese.
Yeah, why did you buy so much cheese? I
don't know. But
she bought like 5 different things of cheese. Like,
well, I don't mind.
I won't need any toilet paper now that you bought so much cheese.
There was a lot of cheese. There was a lot of cookies. Lots of cookies.
Yeah.
No soup. No Campbell's chicken noodle soup. No,
Yeah, the canned goods are limited. The rice
Yeah.
is it's those staple foods that people are like, let me get this. It's going to last a long time, and so that stuff is hard to
want
find.
to maybe do a spin-off cooking show or something? Can
Oh,
you please
no.
stick
it's
to
a
the
great idea. I always wanted to do that.
Anita Ray?
I have to say though, I will take this moment to say you do look rested.
Oh yeah,
and you yes.
Your hair
Listen,
looks
my
fabulous.
friend Dawn, mother of my favorite football player, number 84, told me the other day. He says we're sitting there talking, and I looked at her, and she, her makeup is always like impeccable. She's one of those women that just always looks the antithesis of me, and she's got great hair that's always just in place. I said to her, Dawn, what kind of eyeliner do you use? I got the whole schlemiel on Sephora and the waterproof eyeliner. And let me tell you, it's been a lifesaver. And that's what you're seeing today.
Okay, now we're doing a makeup show.
No,
Believe me, this is a little bit of this is just a little bit of Sephora, thanks to Dawn Alvarez Thomas.
There you go. Oh yeah. She's always together.
She is so together.
Do you have a question?
No, I was just somebody just said that the Publix across from Sanibel outlets is completely stocked, not packed with people, and even had toilet paper. So
how great is that? That's great news.
Yeah.
That is really great news. Yeah, super. I didn't go there. I decided to try the Walmart route, and that was, fruitful.
So, Anita, how I hate to break up the cooking party here, but I was wondering if you think that the state of Florida is ever going to go to, like Illinois, New York, and California now are all, you have to stay in your house. Do you think we are going to eventually go to that?
Ed, you're, 3 days in a row now, or 4 days, however many days this has been. I've told you everything's on the table. Everything's on the table. I hope that I'm slap happy. That's how tired I am today. Thank God for Sephora. I don't look tired. But here's the thing. I just don't know. And I hope that people won't think I'm being flip and whatever by joking around with you, Kim, because I recognize how serious all of this is, of course. But I don't know, Ed. I wouldn't want to say, I just don't know. But I think that the governor is going to use every tool that he has in his tool bag. And if it means closing the border or telling municipalities to do what I don't know. I just don't know.
In your opinion, from all the conversations you had and just speculation now, what's the difference between where we are now and what has to get us to there? I mean, what has to go wrong, or what would be a reason why they would go from the way it is now to totally stay in your house?
So I think California, New York, these other places you're referring to, I think the thing about that is that they're much bigger places, much more densely populated. And because they're more densely populated, their numbers are higher, much like Broward and Dade County. That's our buzz zone, right? So I think when you start seeing those numbers not go from 5 to 10, but go from 5 to 100, 100 to 500, it creates an urgency, and you must react to it. So I believe that I don't know how Florida could not see that. I'll say that. I don't know how we could not see it. We just haven't seen it yet. But do you all know, the governor also issued another mandate today about health services. So the health, essential, in other words, if you need to go to the dentist just for a routine cleaning, no. So, he's shifting that, just trying to, and all of those actions, of course, as we've talked about the last few days, all of those actions are to protect the resource and the ability for our resources to be able to react. And
I know that I think it's been a while that that they've been talking about not doing any elective surgeries. All of that is off the table so that they can have the beds and the resources and the supplies.
That's right.
I was reading something. Yeah, I was reading something about how New York, they're getting really low because they have to completely change out of all the personal protective equipment, and they can't make it quick enough to get it there, and they're just going through. So it's a slippery slope.
Exactly, Kim. Exactly.
Do you feel comfortable that the supplies like that people need for their home are going to be in the locations that they shop all the time?
Paper products and
food,
I do know that, stores are, there's this stores are restocking. So even when I was in Walmart, they were restocking as I was in Walmart. So I think that you'll see things settle down a little bit. So many people now have their outside freezer, their inside refrigerator. You're going to hit a point where you just can't store any more food. Right. God forbid we have a power outage. And so I think that will hopefully even out a bit. With the fact that the restaurants are closing, though, a substantial amount of them are closing, not just, serving takeout and pickup and delivery, whatever. That may have an effect. It's just like it's too big, it's too much.
From what you hear from talking to the Times Square, everybody down there, do you think that some of these businesses are not going to come back?
Oh, Ed, I can't even say those words. A few years back, when the road project started, a friend of mine, and I won't say who it is, but a business owner, called me hysterical that this was going to put them out of business. Their access was closed. It was a bad scene. And I remember a few days, or maybe the next day after that, all the mayors had a meeting, and I was really emotional with them, saying, how do I handle this project? I've never handled anything like this. Cakewalk compared to this. Right. So I think that, the business people I know are smart. Like I said, in Times Square, look, you've got John Lalo, you got John, Steve at the Placa, and me. We're second generation business owners. Our parents owned our businesses before we did, and I believe that we have the wherewithal and hopefully the resources to be able to sustain this. It's going to be a tough year. 2020, no matter how this turns out, whether it's going to be tough. If you think about the fact that you said the other day this is happening right in the middle of season. If this was August and September, it'd be a different ballgame. But good Lord, it's March, April, who knows, May. Those are super incredibly busy months, and it's a wallop. So it's like I'm a prayer person because it soothes me. And it's on my list when I go through my list, like, okay, and now this and this. And that's one of my prayers, that people will be able to not only sustain themselves, sustain their employees, because it's a lot of people that depend on us for their livelihood. So I pray that everyone will be able to stay in business, and that we all celebrate at some point here down the road.
Do you think the sunshine laws affected or impacted the way the council made any decisions in this case, or it didn't make a difference?
Didn't make any difference.
Okay.
The governor has not waived the sunshine law, but the quorum requirement has been lifted. So, for example, we have a board of 5 people. We have to have a minimum of 3 to meet. There's some issues where you have to have where we have to have 4. We have to have a supermajority. Nothing like this, though. And of course, these declarations of emergency trump everything. So, no, the sunshine law, if you're a decent, honest person and you understand that the sunshine law is there to protect the citizenry so that everybody can know what's going on and how you came about your decisions. No, that hasn't hurt or hindered, or it's been irrelevant. This is how we do business, and That's why we called the emergency meetings. And now with this lift of the quorum requirement and the fact that you could probably call, I think, I'm saying this, I don't know this for sure, but I believe this is also true. That we could have, like Bruce was on the phone the other day, there's actually a criteria for being able to do that. You have to determine, watching from Wisconsin, because I love, and plan to be a resident someday. Well, Carol Ann, I hope you will be a resident one day. We look forward to having you here, and go Badgers.
Number 84, we know.
I'll tell you that whole story one day. Yeah. I happen to really love their football coach, and I won't go into it. I'm just falling by the wayside here. So,
anyway, what's your day like tomorrow? What's your plan? I mean, this weekend, are you gonna?
I'm gonna make spaghetti sauce.
That's right.
I've got a couple of friends that but I don't think I have onions. I forgot to buy onions. My sister, I haven't seen my sister in my sister Lyda, the pulmonology person, haven't seen her in a couple of weeks. So maybe I'll see her if that's possible. And I really don't, we're going to have a teleconference again at 11:30, all the mayors, Senator Benequisto and Commissioner Hammond. So, God, I hope it's just, here's what I hope. I hope tomorrow is an uneventful day. I hope it's a day where people get to take a breath and accept with as much grace as they can possibly muster what this temporary reality is for all of us. And that's what I hope happens tomorrow. I'd like that to happen Sunday too, if at all possible, just because I think people have just been bombarded. I think it was part of Roxanne. I was talking to Roxanne today. I think part of her thing yesterday was that you guys are sharing a water bottle. That is not social distancing.
We just did it on the screen too. What's wrong with you? I can't believe you did that in front
You're
of
the one that handed it to her.
She asked me
close
for it.
We are, though.
She asked me for it. I give her anything she asked for, Anita. That's how she stays here.
That's so nice. Anyhow, so I just hope that this weekend will be restful for people.
Well, you were saying something about Roxanne. You were saying something about. I want to make sure you.
I think part of what was frustrating her yesterday was the constant change. It's like, okay, well now this, and now that, and not just Roxanne. Many people were feeling that. So I hope that this weekend will be as tranquil as possible for people.
Listen, I cried when they said the gym was closed. So if I can live without a gym somehow for, I don't know, hopefully only 30 days.
Yeah, but aren't there all these rules about you could just lift Kim, for example?
It's not 6 feet away, Anita.
You want to increase the weight capacity? I could come over.
I could throw her 6 feet. That's about.
Yeah, right.
So before we let you go, I want to make sure that I'm going to leave the screen on for not for Anita, but for anybody that's in there. Please type in a name of a restaurant. Yeah. Type in the name of a restaurant so that I can call and find out. So I'm sure everybody knows a restaurant. I don't know them all. I know Times Square because I don't know Times Square.
I don't know if like the Plaka. I don't know what they're going to do. Smoke and Oyster. I know I'm just talking about the Times Square guys. I know we blocked off some parking there for them to use for the drive up and pick up. Tropical Grill, Sunset Grill. I don't know. But does anybody have any questions? Did you get any questions?
There was somebody asked if boating will be affected.
No, and I'll tell you something interesting.
Okay, we're
listening. A friend of mine at my friend Bob at Walmart today, who is at the boat place right over the bridge. And he said he sold 2 boats yesterday. People are getting on boats and going. I don't know where the heck they're going, but they're going. And I guess that's, I suppose if I had a boat, I might do the same thing because it's freedom, right? So it's that you're out there, you're moving around, you feel not impacted by anything. That must be marvelous.
Yeah, I would guess people could call the charter charter companies and see, what's going on there. I mean, the small ones, obviously the big boat that's out, but the small 4-person one, just stand away from each other and get outside.
Right. Exactly.
Somebody else asked if any tickets were given out today for walking on the beach.
Our purpose is today, tomorrow, whenever. Our purpose is to educate people as to the risk and the reason that we're doing this, and ask them, and that's what our code enforcement people did all day long, to ask them to please leave the beach. The beach is closed. The beach is closed. The beach is closed. That's what they said all day long. I don't believe that there was a single ticket written. I'm not even sure somebody pushed the envelope, so they felt compelled to say, hey, I'm going to write you a ticket. Roger's direction to them was very clear. We're here to help people. We're here to help them get off the beach. And no, I'll just tell you that was today. I don't know that will be the same on Monday or even tomorrow for that matter. It's just, but that's what we did today. And we got such incredible cooperation and compliance. What probably will be challenging for our base units, our base people, the enforcement people tomorrow is that there are probably going to be people who are going to load up and come to the beach that, because not everybody is tuned in like we are. Not that that's bad. God bless them that they don't have to be. But, we'll see what happens this weekend.
So what do you want to tell not only people, do you want to tell people in Fort Myers and other areas not to come? Are you telling them not to come to the beach at all? No, don't come.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't come. There's a sign at the base of the bridge that says the beach is closed.
Okay.
Don't come. Our restaurants are closed. The beach is closed. I mean, you can walk through Times Square. It's not closed, but there's nothing to do there. It's
right. You'd basically be coming over the bridge to take out food to take back home. That's really all you can do. Or you could shop at a shop, I guess, right?
Yes, you could shop at a shop. Absolutely. And I'm just thinking about John Richard's store on the corner of Crescent and Estero. That's open. I saw that was open today. I don't know if like, for example, is the Sandal Factory open? I don't know. I haven't been in Times Square in a few days. But you could probably tell that tomorrow, Ed, on your show. You'll be able to see who's open and who's not. Yeah.
All right. You got any other questions,
No.
wife? Well, Anita, anything you want to tell the people before you make some spaghetti?
Ed, I want to thank them. I want to thank them for being so kind and cooperative with our code enforcement people today. I want to thank them for taking this as seriously as we've asked them to take it. And I want to thank them for being good to themselves, their neighbors, their friends, and their relatives by doing everything that they can to protect themselves. I was really, we were like, well, what's going to happen? We're going to get pushback. And we did get some, but by and large, the emails were, thank you for doing this. Thanks for taking the lead on this. Thanks for pushing forward. And so I'd like to thank people right back. It doesn't do any good to say, hey, here's the plan if nobody follows. And they did. They followed. And I was so impressed. So impressed.
One last question. You talked about Sunday, and I know, the churches are they doing any live, or on
That's a good
air
question. Yeah.
Churches on video conference.
Who's really good at that is Sean Kritzer at Beach Baptist Church.
Yeah.
Gosh, he's a dynamo. My guess is that he probably will, but I don't know that. That's a good question. You know what? I'll tell you that tomorrow. I'm going to just write down here churches,
because that's going to be really important to people to pull close to their. Yeah.
So listen, my my family is in Spain. My family comes from the northern coast of Spain, and even though people think I'm Italian, I'm not. I'm a Spaniard. I'm an American, but I'm a Spaniard. And they are by the book Catholics. Mm-hmm. I don't think they've ever not gone to mass, and they cannot go to mass.
Yeah, that's big.
Mm-hmm. I think the baby Jesus understands and is looking out after all of us, and people need not to worry too much about that. Okay, churches.
That's
what?
That's your assignment.
Churches. That's all right. That's
all right.
I hear you have the Honorable Ray Murphy on your show tomorrow.
Yes, we do. So it's going to be an exciting day tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see the beach.
He's a good man. He's a very, very good man.
Yeah, you guys did great the way you cooperated. You know, it's every once in a while you'll see on the news where these giant politburos or these giant politicians, they get in a scrum, they start punching each other, and it's just so funny that people can get to that level. But you guys, you know. It's just fun to watch because you respect each other and you get along and you make tough decisions, and it's nice to have a government like that.
It sure is. It's sure been a wonderful, extraordinary experience to work with this group. It has been. I'm glad it looks like that because that's how it feels.
We will see you tomorrow, hopefully.
Hasta la vista.
Have a great night. Bye-bye. Enjoy your spaghetti. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Thanks again to the mayor. That was lovely. She looked fabulous.
Yeah,
I mean, she
really
didn't look awful the last 2 nights, but her hair was all a mess. And you could tell she was
rejuvenated. And
she had all her, what'd you call that? Sephora on her? Is that what it was? Yeah. So that was fun. Yeah. Okay. So we will be doing the show tomorrow at 9:00. I will be in Times Square. What is your decision?
I don't know.
Oh, she's hemming and hawing because she's not sure. She wants to set a bad example by going to the beach. So I'll let you guys vote on that, whether she should go to the beach or not. And then we have a 3-pack of guests tomorrow. I was telling everybody earlier. See, Alana Hansen from the Beach Pottery is coming on, and she has some great ideas about how people can not go stir crazy while they're at home alone or with their family. So that's going to be great. It's going to be a little sidebar to everything else that's going on. And she joins us at 9. And then Janine is coming on to tell us more about the T-shirts, where you can get the T-shirts. And she's going to talk about how that whole thing came about. And then, as the mayor said, Ray Murphy, the vice mayor, will join us to talk about his angle on how everything took place. Just like that. It almost happened like the St. Patrick's Day parade was canceled and then everything else was.
I think it's definitely hard to have the kids home. And they're going to be home, it appears, for a while, to keep them busy when you can't go out and do, the bounce house or the movies or anything. So I know, never mind. Go ahead.
All right, everybody. Thanks again for tuning in on another evening. I think this 5 nights in a row. It's at least 4 nights.
I've had enough.
And 2 nights last week.
I don't know how we're going to make it.
All right, everybody. See you all tomorrow, one way or the other. Have a great night and a great weekend, and don't go to the beach.